I went ahead and got a super handy 3-inch rotor type wood chipper. I figured WJ Handy Dad needs something like this. So just chip too much branches between the house and the farm. So the Harbor Freight electric one certainly served its purpose, but it was really not enough for what I need. So we're going to see what this will do. This is the inside of the box. I'm hoping that it's mostly assembled. I know there's going to be a little bit of assembly required. The wheels, for example. This is way heavier than you would think it is. So it's liftable. So in the bag there was an owner's manual, a tool. I'm guessing this is used for, like, if it jams, you can turn the crank, would be my guess. And then obviously our assembly hardware. And hopefully one of these books is how to put it together. I'm not bending the cotter pin yet, but I think it is useful to have that on there like that. As far as I can tell, that's the outside of the wheel, and the inside, I guess we'll find out in a minute if I'm wrong. I want you to take this piece and run it through here, and then put another wheel on the other side. So that's how I have it, and then I'll bend the cotter pins and lock them into place. Bent into place and locked into place. The next step requires these 4 bolts and these 4 nuts. We're going to mount the engine on here. Since I'm alone, I'm going to go ahead and take these bolts here just temporarily, so that when I lay the engine down, it won't fall off. At least, hopefully not. So you see my tape trick definitely helped. The motor is heavy on this side, so it tends to want to fall off of there. So now I'll be able to torque those down. And you see I got this one threaded a couple times, and then that one popped out, so I have to put that one back on. So the bolt is 12 and the nut is 14. Next up is the exhaust chute, and they already pre-installed the washers and screws. So just keep them ready to go. There's 3. One won't need to be totally removed. Just need to unthread it enough that that can slide over it. Make sure you get that inner one snugged up, as well as these outer 2. Next step is attaching this. We're going to use those 2 bolts and nuts. Both the nuts and bolts are 10 millimeter. We can move. Then you want to take this tool with the flat and we call it the flexible washer. Just thread it into what is a pre-attached slot on here. And that is how you lock the angle of this, whichever direction you want it to go. Let's put the feed chute using these bolts in here, and they appear to be 12 millimeter. Rounded handle up. As a safety feature, you see I can't reach the blade. I mean, I probably, if I really tried, but so they have this probably as long as a typical human arm. If you're exceptionally tall, you might be able to reach through there and grab the blades. Mine had these two pieces fall off. No idea where they came from. So I'm gonna have to do some investigating and see. And don't forget, this unit comes without oil, so you gotta add oil before you run it. This is where I ended up putting the screw. I don't really know that it's supposed to go there or not, but there was a spot that it threaded in and a slot where that metal bracket thing could fit into. So I don't know if that is an important piece, as it doesn't appear to do anything at the moment. It may be, once I start running this, I may figure out what it's supposed to do. It almost looks like it's designed to hold something in place, like you might slide something into that bracket and tighten it down. But since there's nothing there and nothing in the instructions about it, I don't know. But as of now, it's a completely useless piece. It's just a screw screwed into metal that's not otherwise doing anything from what I can tell. Then it looks like we have the fuel off or on there. So when you're ready to run it, you would need the gas on. You got your choke on or off. And then you've got your throttle slowest to full throttle. And so I'm guessing if it's like most lawn tools, when it's cold, you'd want it choked full throttle and then pull your cord. And then as it starts to warm up, kill your choke. And I guess if you were wanting it to idle for a while, you could always drop it down to the lowest setting and just let it idle. But I'm sure when you're running this, cutting wood, you'd want it full throttle. And then shut off the fuel. To shut it down, I'm sure they want you to put it there and then shut the fuel off. So this is the oil drain plug, and this is where you fill the oil. Most people, you're going to use 10W30 oil. If you're in a much colder climate, they recommend 5W30, and if you're in a very warm, you can go just with the 30. This takes a half a liter of oil, which is just under half a quart. I'm using full synthetic 10W30 based on the climate that I live in. It has different recommendations based on your climate, so you want to check that. Alright, we got her off, on, fuel off, on, and our choke off, on. I think we're ready to go.